I'm back at it again with my series on why iOS is better than OS X, which if you're an Apple sheep like me, those are the two best operating systems in the world. And just a little fun fact for you, if you want to know what the third is, so we got iOS, OS X, the big ones by Apple. What's the third? watchOS. No, okay. watchOS is third. And then what's fourth? Apple TV OS. It's all Apple. Come on. Now, obviously, both iOS and OS X have totally different skills because one's mobile and one's desktop. So I'm going to be comparing the Mac OS X MacBook Pro to this iPad Pro because these can kind of do very similar things but with different operating systems, because it wouldn't be fair to compare, say, an iPhone to an iMac. So that's what we're doing here. So another big advantage to the iPad Pro is portrait mode, which means there's more than one way to hold this device, where a laptop is kind of just sitting there, it's stationary. For the most part, there's really only one way to use it. You put it down, you open it, that's it. You can't tilt it over, can't use it this way or this way or this way, just one simple way. So you can do that at a desk or on your lap, but with a tablet, you can do those things, but you can also hold it in your hand like this. If I took all my notes on a MacBook Pro, it would seem kind of silly to hold it up here like this and read off the screen. So portability goes to the iPad Pro. And with the iPad Pro, when you're holding it in portrait mode and you got a stylus, it looks like you got a little clipboard thing going. Whereas if you wanted to hold a MacBook Pro and type at the same time, yeah, that's not going to work out as well. But this feels natural, looks natural, it's a way to go. Now, portrait mode is made possible by the accelerometer and gyroscope that are inside the iOS device and not the MacBook. And when you have an accelerometer, a lot more potential shows up when you want to do gaming, because this, when you look at it, is kind of the same size as a steering wheel. So this is really easy. You can make really precise movements when you're driving imaginary cars in your racing games, compared to if you want to do racing games on a laptop, it would be harder. Having a portrait mode display also brings up more possibilities in the classroom when you're taking notes, which brings me to the next big benefit, the touchscreen. So yeah, there's smudges and there's fingerprints, but you also have an incredibly useful option, which is the stylus. When you're in class taking notes, or anywhere taking notes really, it goes far beyond just writing text, which is pretty much all you can do with a laptop. Unless you get some pad adapter, there's really just things you can type down. But say if you're in a math class, you need to be able to write down equations and numbers in really weird formats, or if you're drawing diagrams and things like that, you can't really do that on a laptop. And this is better than actually using a paper and pen. With this, when you make a mistake, you can undo it and you don't have to use eraser shavings. You don't have to worry about your mistake bleeding through if you wrote too hard earlier. It is gone. And if you undid it and you actually want it back, you can redo it. Goes back immediately, so there's no mess, which is way better than using whiteout or an eraser. Don't have to worry about paper tearing or crackling or about sharpening your pencil. You just charge it now. That's weird to say. It's the future, everyone! The charging pencil is here. And in my experience, this means getting rid of that backpack full of papers and just carrying around this little guy with you. In most cases you get with the iPad Pro, have a little slot for styluses to go. It rhymes, so it's true. It's really late for me. So this simplifies the process of taking notes in class to the absolute best possibility it can be. As I find more reasons that iOS is better than OS X, I will let you know in the next episode. This is your Apple Sheep here, and I will see you in the next one.